How's life? Hello there, and welcome to another episode of SKATER XL Sessioning. I am Perma, and for today we're actually going to be breaking down 5 advanced tips to make your skating look a little bit better on console. So let's set up a marker right beside this Applewood sign and get right into it. But of course, if you're liking anything that you see here, like and subscribe is super appreciated. Alright, so for the first tip, I want to recommend actually learning how to medium pop. Being able to wind up in the game is a really cool addition, but it actually high pops to default every single time that you do it. So I'm going to turn on the display controller and show you exactly how to do it. So you'll see for a full pop windup, we hold both sticks down and the trigger, and then we just let go, and that's that full height. But for medium pop windups, we actually drop that front foot right before you pop. We do everything the same, and then we actually drop that front foot. And you'll see that he actually turns a little bit before popping. Makes that look a lot more realistic. Let's take a look at what that looks like a little bit closer. So this is what a regular full windup looks like. You'll see he winds and then just releases and you get that full pop height. But you'll see here with medium pop, we wind up but then drop that front stick and then it's a lower pop height actually. And it looks much more realistic because that shoulder starts moving, right? Just like that. Wind up and then the shoulder starts moving. So not only does it make the pop height a lot lower, it actually looks way more realistic. So yeah, let's just try some medium pop tricks over this. Maybe a backside flip. Wind up, let go. There we go, like that. Let's just try a frontside heel. Wind up, drop the front stick. There we go, looks good. And same with nollie tricks. Let's try a nollie backside flip here. Medium pop wind up, just like that. All right, so for this next tip, we're actually just gonna head to some flat ground here, and I'm gonna show you how to manual catch correctly. It's pretty easy to just actually flip and then catch it with both sticks, as you can see here. But to make it more realistic, you actually want to catch it in the correct order. So for kick flips and heel flips, you're actually going to want to catch it with the back foot first and then the front. You can actually just begin with practicing with just the back foot first, but eventually you do want to actually get that front foot back on. So same deal with heel flips as well, catch it with that back foot and then the front foot. Now for shove-its, you actually want to catch it with the front foot. So yeah, you flick with the back stick, catch it with that front foot, and then bring that back foot back on. And that's the same with actually shove-its with a flip in it. So free flips, laser flips, you want to catch it with that front foot first. So same here, you'll see it flips around, catch it with that front foot, and then bring the back foot onto it. Now it gets a little bit different when you're switch as well too, but it is the same concept. Say if I got a switch flip, I'm actually going to catch it with the back foot, which is actually my right foot. And then for switch shove-its, we want to catch it with the front foot. Just like that. Same deal with switch 3 flips. Catch it with that front foot, which is my left foot, and then that back foot comes back on. Let's just do a little line and catch correctly. There's a nollie flip where you actually catch it with that right foot. Free flip and catch it with the front. Kick flip with the back foot first. And then we'll do a little wind up. Nollie backside flip and catch it with that right foot. All right, so for my next advanced tip here, we're actually just gonna go to this little rock gap and show you how to flare out your feet correctly. And the way to do that actually is to flick your front foot to the right, but then actually hold it forward after. So you'll see here in slow motion, I originally flicked to the right, but then I actually moved that stick right forward to get that flare right there. And it's the same for nollie flips as well. You're actually gonna flare out your back foot. We pop to the right, but then we move that back stick right to the back, just like that. So flick to the right, but then right back, and then you get that flared out back foot. And obviously you're gonna wanna combine this with manual catch as well, right? And you end up with something like this. Catch it with that back foot, flare that front foot forward, and then catch it with the front foot at the end. Now we're gonna actually combine those methods to make your 3 flips look way better. So to make your 3 flips look much better, you low pop here, you flare out that back foot, catch it with your front foot, and then get the back foot back on the board. All right, so now that you know those tips to make your flip tricks and your shove-its look better, we're gonna move over onto grinds here and make them look a little bit more realistic as well. So let's move over to this ledge here, and I'm gonna show you the first tip, which is actually bending down when you're popping out of a grind. So let's just try this on a little nose grind here. Nose grind in, you bend down, and then you actually pop right out. And all I do to actually bend the board down is just use the left stick. Right in there, bend that left stick down just a bit, and then you pop right out of there. Now that looks good, but it's a little bit too high of a pop out of a nose grind. So to make these look even more realistic, we're actually gonna bump out of that. So we go in, get into the nose grind, bend down, but then we bump out of it. So you'll see here, we pop right into the nose grind, you bend it down, and then you bump right out of it. And that makes it look so much smoother. So the last tip I'm gonna show you here is actually just popping straight out of grinds. Let's do that same nose grind, and then we'll pop straight out of it. And if you don't know, the way to pop straight out of grinds is just by hitting both the triggers at the same time when you're in the grind. So we'll actually get right into the same nose grind, hit both triggers, and then it pops straight out of it. So now let's actually combine both those tips with a flip trick on here. Let's do that nose grind, hit both of the sticks, bend down, and then flip right out of it. So you'll see that we'll get into the nose grind here, we'll hit both triggers to pop straight, we'll bend it down, and then we'll flip right out of that and catch it correctly. And to make it look real good, you actually really want to flare that back foot out as well. We bend it down, flare that back foot out, and catch it correctly with that right foot. All right, so that was 5 tips that are going to make your tricks look a lot more realistic. But now let's actually try to combine all 5 of those into one trick. All right, so to show all 5 of these in one trick, we're going to come up here and maybe do a frontside heel to switch 5-0, bend it down, and then do a switch flip out of it. All right, so we're going to pump in here, medium pop wind up, switch 5-0, bend it down, and get that switch flip out correctly. All right, so let's see all 5 tips in one trick here. There's that medium pop wind up right into switch 5-0, and then we're gonna bend it down and switch flip, flare that front foot out, and catch it with the back foot correctly. Awesome, so that's how you use all those 5 tips to actually make your console skating look a little bit more realistic. So let's just use all those tips and get some tricks around here. Awesome, so thanks so much for watching this with me, and we'll catch you in the next episode of SKATER XL Sessioning.